Today on StockCharts in Focus, we're giving your workflow a boost, talking about how you can build a daily scanning routine on StockCharts. Now, whether you're reviewing charts every single day or building up those lists for a weekend review at the end of the week, the scanning routines that we're going to take a look at on today's show are really going to help you get more out of our scanning tools on StockCharts, help you build a structured system that you can repeat from week to week. We're going to reach into my own personal toolkit a little bit, show you some of the tools that I use every single day, some tips and tricks for getting more out of the scanning tools on StockCharts. So lots to cover on today's show. Of course, you know what it is. It's all new. It's all here. It's StockCharts in Focus. All right, my friends, welcome to the show, StockCharts in Focus. Of course, our product focus show here on the channel where we dig into the site, dive into the features, show you around the tools, and help you get more value out of StockCharts. That is our mission here every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on StockCharts TV. Of course, also up on our YouTube channel after that and the on-demand platform at StockChartsTV.com. Lots of different ways to watch, lots of ways to tune in to all of our great StockCharts TV content here. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. So good to be with you. Thanks for sitting down for another episode of StockCharts in Focus. And this is going to be a really fun one for a couple of reasons. Now, this is a show that is near and dear to my heart because we're going to look at some tools that I use every single day, some things that are integral to my own personal process. We'll walk through a couple of these different scanning tools and options, talk about how you can really use them to build your own daily or weekly scanning routines. But I'll also talk to you a little bit about how I use these tools, how I apply them, again, on a daily basis and on a weekly basis as well. This show is also going to be a fun one because coming up very soon in the next couple of weeks, we have some new features rolling out on the site. A whole lot of new features coming to the site. We're going to have more on that in the next couple of weeks. But one of those is actually going to touch the show that we are doing here today. So we're going to talk about how to use some of these tools, some of these scanning tools to build your daily and weekly scanning routines. But some of these routines are going to get even easier, even more streamlined in the next couple of weeks with some of the features that we have rolling out. So a little teaser there. I don't want to say too much too soon, but this show is something that we're going to revisit a little bit over the next couple of weeks as we roll out some of those new features. So very, very exciting stuff. We'll have more on that, of course, on StockCharts in Focus in the next couple of weeks. Without further ado, though, let's jump into today's show and talk about how you can use some of the scanning tools around the site, some of the different options to start building up your daily and weekly scanning routines. Here we go. All right, everyone. So for today's show, we're actually going to start here on the Advanced Scan Workbench. Now, if you are new to scanning, this show might be a little bit much for you. One of the things that we always get, one of the questions that we always get anytime we talk about scanning is, hey, wait a second, I'm not up and running with my scans yet. Where can I go to learn? How can I get some scans created in my account? We're not going to dive into all of that today, but I do just want to give you a couple of links that you can start with. First and foremost, down here at the bottom of our Advanced Scan Workbench, we have a whole bunch of links for instructions, some documentation on how to write your own scans, and we even have a whole collection of scan examples that you can actually pull from. So all of those scan examples can be copied and pasted right here into the Scan Workbench, and they're a great way to get up and running with scans. One of the other things that we've highlighted on this show in the past as well is our Predefined Scans page. So you can get to that simply by clicking that link at the top of the Advanced Scan Workbench. When you click into any of these scans, these are pre-created, very, very popular scans that you can actually start to build from. So when you click one of these numbers next to the scan name, this is going to take you to the results page for that predefined scan. There's a big blue button at the top of this page that says Edit Scan Criteria. And when you click that, you'll see that it actually jumps you back over to that Advanced Scan Workbench with all of that criteria for the predefined scan already loaded in here. So this is a really, really nice way to actually start to build your own custom scans. You can go take a look at some of the ones we have on that Predefined Scans page, pull any of those into your own custom scan, and start to run those for yourself. If you're already up and running with scans though, if you are a scanning expert here on StockCharts, you've got the scans that you run on a daily basis, maybe some that you run on a weekly basis, you've got your favorites. This show is hopefully going to give you a lot of tips and tricks and different ways to get more out of our scanning tools. So what we are going to do on today's show, we're actually going to start with one of my scans from my own personal account. Again, as I mentioned in the open, we're going to talk a little bit about sort of my own personal toolkit, some of the ways that I use these features. But we're basically going to run some scans and talk through the different options you have for saving those scan results. So today's show is really all about, again, building up this routine. You're running your scans, but after you run one of those scans, what are you doing with those results? How are you saving those? How are you reviewing them? How are you coming back to them over time? And we're also going to talk a little bit about how you're doing this process sort of over time, from day to day and from week to week. So that is what we're going to hit today, and the discussion is, as you're going to see, going to help you get more out of the scanning tools and help you build up a little bit of a routine. So we're starting here with this new all-time highs in the S&P 1500 scan. We're going to hit run. And from here, we're going to start to talk about the different options that we have. So we've just run a scan. This is one actually that I run every single day, as we're going to talk about a little bit more as the show goes on. But you've run this scan. Let's say it's one of your favorites. You want to run this every single day. You've run the scan. Now you're on the results page here. You've got plenty of options for reviewing these results right from this scan results page. We actually did a big refresh on this page just a few weeks back. We talked about that a little bit on the show. So there are tons of options for what you can do with this page. First and foremost, you can simply scan down it and take a look at what is here. You also have the option of hovering over any of these symbols to get a little mini chart for each one. So you can actually start to analyze some of these results right from the scan results page. Chances are, though, if you're running these scans every single day, you're going to want to really do more with these results. You're going to want to pull up the full feature charts, maybe take some notes, maybe add some annotations. So let's talk about some of the different options you have for doing that. This is what I call a scanning routine. You're running these scans every single day, you're taking those results and you're doing something with them. And you're building that up so that is part of your process. You're doing that routine every single day. So you've run your scan, you're here on the results page. Up in the top right corner, you've got a big green button that says Save to ChartList. So this is really what we're going to highlight today. This is really how you can start to build a routine off of these scans. When we give that a click, you'll see that there is a window that pops up with 3 options across the top. So we're going to talk about all 3 of these options, and in particular, we're going to demonstrate the last 2. The first option in this modal, the first one that is selected, is our new list option. So by default, this is going to be checked. And what this is going to do, as the name suggests, is just create a new chart list in your account with all of these results. So if you wanted to run a scan every single day and you wanted to save those results to your account so you can come back to them, you can revisit them, you can add your annotations, add your notes, you can even move those results from one list to another. This is a great way to do it. This is kind of the first option that you have for building up one of these daily or weekly scan routines. You can run your scans every day and create a new list each day in your account. Now, as you can see here in the new list name box, you've got the name of that scan, but we also add a date marker for you when you create a new chart list. So you're taking these results, you're creating a new chart list with those results, and we're automatically going to put the date in there for you. So let's think about this for a second. Let's say you've got a scan that you want to run every single day. You want to save those results to a new chart list every single day. Maybe at the end of the week, you want to review that full week worth of chart list. You want to have each day in its own chart list. So you can do that. You can run these scans every single day. That can be your routine. You can come here to the Save to Chart List pop-up, click that big green button, and save those results to a new chart list every day. When you get to the end of the week, you're going to have all of these chart lists with the same name The only difference is going to be that little date stamp in the end. So this is going to allow you to see which chart list was associated with which day. So very, very easy. This is a nice way to run your scans every day, get a list that is specific to that day. It's saved right in your account, and from there you can build off that list. Again, add your annotations, add your notes, move things around, anything that you want to do. So it's very, very easy to save this. All you've got to do is hit that save button. We're going to do that in just a sec so you see how this looks, but I do want to mention one other little feature that is part of this page. That is the preserve sort order checkbox. So if we actually close out of this for a quick second, we'll see that on this page, we've got a couple of different things that we can sort by. We could sort by name or by symbol. Those are going to be kind of the defaults. But if we wanted to sort this by sector, maybe we want to sort it by industry, or even sort it by scooter score. That's a popular one that a lot of our users love to do. All we've got to do is click the title of that column. You see that we can actually sort by top to bottom or bottom to top. So we've got a couple of different options there. If we sort this table though, and then we go back to that save to chart list modal, we can check that little box to preserve that sort order. So that's going to number everything in the list that we create, and it's going to keep it sorted in that specific order that we've used on the scan results page. So one handy little option that you do have there. So anyways, if you wanted to run your scans every day and save them to a new chart list every single day, all you've got to do is come here, save that with the new list button. When you hit save, you'll see that we've now created a new chart list in my account with those results. Again, we've got our date stamp in here, and this is now a full featured chart list. We've got all of our different options in here. We've got our summary view. We can pull this up in something like 10 per page and start to review all of the charts for this list. And again, because we sorted that in that specific scooter order, this is actually, as you can see, numbered to keep those charts sorted in a specific order. So a couple little handy features there. But this could be sort of the first stop on your daily or weekly scan routines. Again, when we talk about a scan routine, what we mean is running those scans every day and doing the same thing with those results, building up a little bit of a process for your scans. So we are going to go back actually to our Advanced Scan Workbench. We're going to start this process over with some of our other options that we have available to us. That one that we just hit was sort of case number one. If you want to create a new chart list every time you run a scan, you can create those chart lists, review them every day, or review them every week when you get to the end of the week. A nice little process there. And because those all have the same name, on your dashboard, in your chart list, sort of organized list, the menus and everything for your chart lists, those chart lists will actually stay together. So nice and handy there. Now, again, we're going to repeat this process and take a look at some of our other options for saving these lists. The next two that we're going to get into, merging and replacing, are actually things that I use every single day. So before we run our scans, I'm actually going to open up the dashboard here, and I'm going to show you a couple of things from my account that are going to help this make sense. We're going to go down to my chart lists here. And in my whole list of chart lists, you can see that there's actually a block here that all starts with those three little dashes. We've got the 40 and 15 new 52-week highs. We've got ETFs, new 52-week highs. Here is our S&P 1500 all-time highs. And then we've also got 52-week highs in the S&P 1500 and 52-week highs in the S&P 1500 again, but a weekly version. So we're going to talk through all of these lists. But as you see, I want you to see this whole block of lists in my account. This is going to help make sense in just a second. But I've got these specific chart lists already created in my account. These are very, very important to me, to my process, my daily and weekly scanning process, as you're going to see in just a second. And if you paid attention to that little window that we had earlier, the other two options were merge and replace. So what we're going to do is show you how you can actually create chart lists in your account, run your scans, and then merge or replace existing chart lists that you have to kind of build up this scanning workflow. So I wanted to give you a quick highlight. These are the lists that we are going to be working with from our scan results page. So we'll close this back down. Here we are on our Advanced Scan Workbench. Let's go ahead and run, we'll actually do the S&P 1500 new 52-week high. So very similar scan, but instead of looking for all-time highs, now we're looking for new 52-week highs. We're gonna run this scan again. So Now we're getting, as I said, we're getting into some of my personal routines, things that I use, again, every single day. So I've got a list of scans that I want to run every single day. These are the ones that are my go-tos, my most important, the ones that I really get the most value out of. And a lot of these are really starters for me to find individual stocks and ETFs, other securities that I want to buy. So these are my most important scans, and they're the ones that I want to run every single day and the ones that I want to review every week, whether that's throughout the week or on the weekend as kind of a weekend review process. So I've run this scan. One of those scans is going to be a new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500. I've run this scan, same kind of idea. I'm going to come up to my Save to Chart List button here. And for me, instead of creating a new list every time I run one of these scans, I'm actually going to use this merge function, which is the next option up in the menu there at the top of the window. So just like we highlighted there, I've got those specific chart lists in my account. When I scroll down here, we can find those in the list. So I've run this scan. I do this every single day after the close. I run this scan for new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500. Then I come here from the scan results page. I hit that merge option, and I merge those results into this specific chart list. Now this is, as you can see, new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500. And I say weekly on it. I'll give you the description of that in just a second, but this is my weekly list. So I'm going to run this scan every single day. That's my scanning routine. I'm going to merge those results into the exact same chart list every single day. That's the second part of the routine. And when I do that, I'm taking those results, putting them into that chart list, and I now can build up this list of new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500 as the week goes on. By the time I get to Friday's close and I run that scan and merge those results in, because I've been putting the results from that same scan into the same list every single day of the week, I've now built up a chart list that I can review on the weekend that's full of all the stocks in the S&P 1500 that made a new 52-week high that week. I can review those on Saturday or on Sunday when I sit down for my big end-of-week chart review, and it sets me up for the week ahead. I can find new opportunities in there, new things that I want to keep an eye on for the trading week that is about to start. So this is one of my most important routines that I run every single day. Again, running these scans, the ones that are really integral to my process, really important, my go-to favorite scans, I run those every single day, and I merge those into the same chart list. In this case, we've run that new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500 scan, and I'm going to merge those into the associated chart list for that. So it's really easy to do. We can merge that in here, and now we've got all of those lists in, all of those matching results in this same chart list. So this is a big chart list right now because I've been doing this every single day. And again, it's Friday now, so we're merging these results in. We are in the middle of the day, so I'm actually going to do this again at the end of the day. But it gives you a sense of kind of how you can start to take these scans and build a little routine from them. So I do this as we can see here. We'll actually go run one of these other scans. I do this with a whole bunch of different scans. I've got other lists that I'm sweeping for new 52-week highs. I've got ETFs that I'm sweeping for new 3-month highs and new 52-week highs. We can run something like our new 3-month highs for this big list of ETFs that I have. Here's a whole list of ETFs that are making new 3-month highs. And again, I can do the same thing. I can come here, save these results, merge them into my ETFs new highs list. We can save that there. Now we've merged those in. And again, I can do the same thing. When I get to the weekend, I can review this bigger list full of stocks from that week that made a new 3-month high. So I've got these scanning routines kind of built into my process, and the merge function is one of the most important to me, again, because I like to actually build up these lists as the week goes on. So hopefully that gives you a sense of how you can use the merge function to start to build one of these daily scanning routines that you can use to review things every single day or pile them up and review them on the weekend. Now we're going to do this one more time, and we're going to actually go back to our S&P 1500 new 52-week highs scan, because I run this one actually twice, and I've got 2 different lists for it. This is what I hinted at earlier. So we're going to run this scan, and we're going to review our third and final option here in our Save to Chart List menu, which is Replace. So you've got these three options again, just to review them. You can create a new list every single time that you run a scan. You could build up those new lists, and at the end of the week, you'd have a whole pile of chart lists to review, but each one is separate and each one is dated on its own. You could have the same chart list that you're filling with results every single day as you're running that daily scan routine. You could merge those into any of your specific chart lists, build it up, and then by the end of the week, you've got a big list of all the things that triggered that scan or that matched that scan throughout the week. By the way, to briefly stop on that one, when you merge, that means that anything in the list that you're trying to put in, if it's already in the list, it's basically going to be ignored because it's already in there, so it's not going to create duplicates. So it basically just means take anything that is new and put it in this list, but anything that already exists there, you can ignore that. So those are our first two options that we reviewed. Our third and final option, very, very straightforward, is our Replace List option. So here we have the same preserve sort order option that we had from our new list option there. So if you do want to sort the scan results by a specific piece of criteria, you can preserve that sort order. Nice handy little feature. But this is going to do basically the same thing as merging, but it's going to replace the entire list. So I have in my account, again, we've just run our new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500 scan. When we go back down to those scans in my account, as you can see on the screen, I've got two lists that are basically the same thing, but I do slightly different things with them. I've got one of these lists that is just each day's result, and I replace that list every single day with the latest scan results. So every day I run this scan for new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500. I merged those into my weekly variant of the chart list. This is the one that gets built up as the week goes on, and then by Saturday or Sunday, I can review all of those results in one sitting. But I also have a version of that chart list, a sort of a duplicate that gets replaced every day. So I like to replace that every day, and then as I'm sitting around with with a drink or whatever at the end of the day, I can review just the results of the daily new 52-week highs in the S&P 1500 list. So we'll select that one here. That's going to replace that list, and similar, we can hit save, and that's going to take all of those scan results that we just had. It's going to take that chart list that we already have in our account, and it's just going to replace everything in that chart list with the new scan results. So this is another option that you have for these scan routines. You can have one chart list that you're putting everything into, and every time you run one of those scans, you are just replacing that list and then reviewing it pretty quickly. If you're going to run this every single day, that means you do have to review the results before they get replaced. But there are some benefits to having one of those lists, replacing it every day, and reviewing the results right away. So a couple of different options there for building up these scan routines. Again, you've got new lists. You can create a new list every time you run one of these. You can have specific lists that you're merging in results and then building those up as the week goes on. Or you can have one chart list that you're putting your scan results into, reviewing those right away, and then it gets overwritten the next day when you run that routine. Couple of different options there. I would encourage you definitely, if you're going to use those merge or replace options, think about some chart lists that you can create that are going to match up with those scans you like to run. And this is a great way to just kind of keep track of things. Again, this is integral to my process. This is something that I do every single week. Every day after the close, I'm running my scans, I'm merging or replacing those existing chart lists in my account. And when I get to the end of the week, I've got a big pile of charts to review, but everything in those chart lists matches the criteria that I really care about because I've been running those scans throughout the week. So whatever the scan criteria that you really care about is, you can create those scans, create some chart lists that are associated with them, and again, start to build up a routine around those scans. It's not just about randomly running those scans every couple of days or every couple of weeks or something like that. If you get in the habit of running these scans every day, taking advantage of some of those save options, putting them into your account, keeping track of them with your annotations, keeping track of them with chart notes or list notes. You got plenty of options for monitoring those. But think about how you are building a routine around this scan. Think about how disciplined you are running that scan routine every single day. again, these tools and features, these save options that you have with the scan results, these will really help you execute that daily or weekly scanning routine. So a very, very helpful way to build a little bit of process into your scan review. So that is our show for today. A little quick hit talking about scanning routines, talking about how to get more out of some of these tools, and of course, reaching into my own personal toolkit a little bit to show you how I use especially the merge and replace options there for scan results to run those scans every single day and build up those results for review at the end of the week. Something that I absolutely love to share with people, again, because it is such an important piece of my stock and fund discovery process. So hopefully you've seen how you can use some of these features to start building routines of your own, all built around scanning. Of course, this has been a new episode of StockCharts in Focus, and I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me on today's show. It's been a fun one. And like I mentioned in the open, this is going to be an interesting episode when we look back on it, because in a couple of weeks, we got some new features rolling out on the site that are going to totally transform this scanning routine workflow. If you are a daily scanner, if you are a weekly scanner, in either case, the features that we have rolling out are going to be very, very exciting to you. I promise that. We got some very cool stuff here that's going to streamline that scanning workflow. I can't wait to share it with you. And of course, we're going to do that here on StockCharts in Focus very, very soon. So keep an eye out. Stay tuned for more on that. This is going to be the place to hear about it, though. We've got tons of new features rolling out in the next couple of weeks around StockCharts. Lots happening. We're going to have more for you on that in the next week and then in the coming weeks to come. So lots happening. I know I'm teasing you here. I know I'm giving you a little bit of a teaser of what's about to come. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon, but we got some great stuff coming. You're going to be thrilled. So very, very excited. And we're going to share that, as always, here on StockCharts in Focus in the next couple of weeks. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com, and you have been watching StockCharts in Focus. Of course, our product focus show where we dig into the site, dive into the features, show you around the tools, and help you get more value out of StockCharts. Remember that's our mission here on this show. Every Friday, we just sit down to review different corners of the website, review different tools and features, and just help you get more value out of the site. That's what we're here for. So we try to do that every Friday on StockCharts in Focus. Hope you'll join me for another episode of the show very, very soon. Definitely keep an eye out for those big feature launches that we got coming out in the next couple of weeks. But until then, chart on, my friends.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.